It has been nearly a full day since the U.S. Senate failed to pass a short-term funding bill. Democratic and Republican leaders here blaming each other for this week's government shutdown.
Both are accusing the other of holding the government hostage and saying the shutdown will hurt ordinary families.
12 days ago, we should have had these conversations, and the Democrats did not engage in that until we sent our continuing resolution over to the Senate. And now all of a sudden they're holding the American people hostage.
Look, there is a crisis out there. High costs, looming health crisis, and they should be focused on working on that instead of playing games here about winners and losers. There's a problem, and they need to act like adults, get in a room, and think about the American public.
While they're at odds on how to move forward, both sides agree that the shutdown hurts everyday families the most. That's because it can delay service to affordable health care, veterans, and threaten jobs that people rely on to pay bills.
Thousands of federal employees have already been furloughed from departments all across the board here, like the EPA, Department of Agriculture, and even the National Transportation Safety Board. Other employees may be forced to work without pay or face potential mass layoffs. Utah is stepping in once again here to make the Mighty Five open, despite most national parks that are shutting down.
News specialist Alex Cabrero joins us live tonight. And Alex, there are a lot of communities that rely on these parks being open.
Absolutely, Dini. You know, our national parks aren't just pretty places to visit. There are a lot of towns and communities surrounding our national parks here in Utah. That's why the state is paying to keep those parks open during the federal government shutdown. There are plenty of people, economies, and small businesses who rely on those parks.
For some, Utah's national parks are bucket list destinations, while for others, they're simply the backyard. But even as the federal government shuts down, Utah is keeping them open.
Our national parks not only contribute significantly to our local economies, but ultimately also to the quality of life for our residents.
And that quality of life comes with numbers as big as these canyons. According to the Utah Office of Tourism, our 5 national parks brought in about $3 billion to the state's economy just last year.
That means that visitors are staying in our hotels. They are eating at our local restaurants. So many of Utah's businesses, livelihoods depend on national park visitation.
It's part of why Utah is now funding these parks to keep them open during the shutdown. For Springdale, just outside Zion National Park, visitation is everything.
Our hotels have a lot of reservations in place and people are planning to come. So it would be pretty unfortunate if they couldn't get into the park.
And if Zion closed, Springdale Mayor Barbara Bruno says the whole town would feel it.
We collect very little in property tax. Our town is completely funded by the sales tax and resort tax and transient room tax that we collect from visitors.
But it's not just about money. In Utah, our parks are supposed to be an escape, and having them open, we may need that more than ever.
These are Utah's treasures, so we are making sure that we are a part of the solution.
Now, Utah has done this before in 2013 and in 2018, spending close to $2 million total to keep the parks open. The state has set aside money to do this again. But of course, Mike and Dini, our state leaders are hoping this federal government shutdown, that it doesn't last long.
All right, Alex, you're right. We hope it doesn't, but glad that those resources are still open. The shutdown is expected to go until at least Friday. The Senate has already adjourned for the day, and no votes are expected tomorrow. Stick with us right here on the air and on our YouTube page as we follow the national and local impacts.